Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the fourth episode of the WartimeGamer Soapbox Championship. Here we have a user suggestion up here by a user called, let me just pull up the comment, by a user called Callum S1H. They suggest to use the 3-wheel Pigeon with the stabilizers. Seems simple enough. So without further ado, I think we should remove the fuel as to oppose any cheating. We put it up again, take it out, and give it a little bit of a pull to get us started, because no vehicle seems to be able to get moving on its own sometimes. Now, we have a few suggestions for naming areas of this track. I will read them out as we get to those sections. I have them pre-prepared on my phone right next to me, so when we get there I can just read them out. Now, I have no idea what to think of this Pigeon. Going to be an interesting one, like that. Stabilizers are probably going to save it a lot of the time. It's a light vehicle, so it could do well, but at the same time, it being light means it doesn't gain a lot of speed. Being the first vehicle of the video, I have no idea what to compare it to. So, yeah, I'm not exactly sure what to expect from this thing. If we compare it to the likes of the Grand Marshal or the 200BX in previous videos, or the ETK I series we did last video, then I reckon this thing won't do as good. I have a feeling that this thing is going to be too light for its own good. And that happens apparently. If you get up on two wheels too much, then it starts to drift. Lovely. So, I'm not exactly sure what to expect from this thing, other than the fact I don't reckon it's going to make it very far. Because I reckon the first sign of a hill, and it's going to decide that it doesn't want to go anywhere. Because it's too light. It's going to have no momentum. Compared to like something like Grand Marshal that weighed, I think it was like 2.4 tons. I think it was a heavy thing. It was a heavy girl. And no matter what you threw at it, it gained brilliant speed on the downhill, and it maintained it pretty well going uphill. We're still yet to have anybody go over that second hill though, so they've gotten close. The 200BX, for example, got very close to getting over it, but no one has so far. No car has. This left-hander gives him brakes. Oh! Keep it going, keep it going, keep it going. That is one thing I've got to be careful. Push it too hard, it ends up on stabilizer, and that stabilizer apparently is not very good at stabilizing rear end. I mean, it's only supposed to be there to stop you rolling over, so I guess that makes sense. But we've got to be careful of that happening again. Almost completely ruined the run of this Pigeon. Keep it nice and planted on the ground the best I can. Back up to about 40. Well, that was... yeah, that's interesting. I don't reckon that stabilizer will be much use to me anymore. But we'll hope that it holds on a little bit. Seems to still be attached completely. Doesn't want to wiggle around or anything. But we are doing a lot lower of a speed into this hill now. After that side impact. I don't think we're going to make it. I think I crashed it and it's not going to make it anymore. And that appears to be what is going on here. 2.1 miles. Can maybe see 2.2? We see 2.2. Still doing 9 mile an hour. Will we see 2.3? That is the question for the Pigeon. Will we see 2.3? Ah, yes. And also, I forgot about this from sneezing. But, user suggestion. This hill we are currently on. A user suggested, by the name of Crash Happy BeamNG, that we should be calling this hill the Speed Tester. And I quite like that name. I think it's fitting. We actually gained some speed as well. We're doing 10 miles an hour now. I think it's pretty fitting because most vehicles will pass the speed test, but you get the occasional one, like I suspect this Pigeon might be, that will not complete the speed test, and will fail as we are slowly rolling to a stop. And we're now going back onto an uphill, so 2.3 miles. That is where the Pigeon shall land, shall be left. Now stay tuned for the second vehicle, which will happen just after this brief jump cut. Now, our next suggestion comes from that very same user who suggested the hill name, crashhappy.beamng. They asked for a Hirochi Sunburst wagon CVT. So, looking at these, I think we're going to go with this one. We're going to get it in a nice bright red color. Now, I don't know how CVTs work exactly in this game. I think if it's going to go like the Arata, then it's not going to get very far. But we will find out. Take the fuel out of it. Take up the parking brake. We're going to give it a little bit of a pull. And we shall see if it's a CVT problem or if the Arata just didn't like moving. Feels like it might have just been an Arata thing. We seem to be picking up speed pretty well here. Down into the first hairpin. Give this corner a nice wide entrance. The all-wheel drive doing absolutely nothing to help us, given it's not even on. Lovely camera angles. We're coming down into the second hairpin now. Picking up decent speeds up to almost 60 miles an hour. There is 60 as we hit the braking zone. Down to about 20. Go down the next section of hill. Now, drop it down in the comments. Do you think this Sunburst will make it over the speed tester and to our second named area? Or do you think it will be stopped by the speed tester? Please let me know down below. What do you think will happen to this Sunburst? Because it seems to pick up some pretty good speed if you ask me. I'm doing 60 again already. Weighs 1.3 tons. It's on its side for gaining speed. Will it be on its side when it comes to going up hills? Will it carry momentum? Will the weight hold it back? Incredible speeds down here. 75. I'm gonna have to start slowing down just to make this corner, but 45 coming out of there. Look at her in the dirt, 37, 38 mile an hour coming out of there. This thing definitely has got some good qualities about it, despite its heavy weight and being in a state. And for those of you in America, an estate is, well, this. It's what you call a wagon. Wagon? I don't know what the other word is. Estate cars, wagons. There's an actual name for them, and it's not coming to my mind right now. But if you know what that word is, please let me know. Coming up the speed tester. It appears that we might not have an issue with the speed tester today. Sunburst is carrying on with some decent speed, doing 33 mile an hour. At this point, the Pigeon had just stopped on the side of the road. Maybe heavier cars are the way to go compared to light cars. They lose less speed, but they don't gain it either. Something like this Sunburst. I think this could be leaving the speed tester at the highest speed we've had so far, 22 mile an hour. As we begin to descend back down, 23, and there we go. So I think we're going to get to our second hill, which is a lovely suggestion from the viewer. Their name is Callum S1H. I think that's just a YouTube fill. But they suggest that the last hill, or the second hill, as we've seen so far, should be called the Conqueror. And I like that suggestion. So will the Sunburst conquer the Conqueror? Or will the Sunburst be conquered by the Conqueror? We shall find out very soon. If we begin to plunge downhill towards it. 50. 55. Try and cut some of this corner off. Avoid the bump on the inside. Begin the ascent at 50. Don't want to be touching dirt. We are ascending the Conqueror. 35. 30. 25. 20. 15. 10. 8. 7. 6. 5. 4. 3. 2. 1. It's a disappointing end for the Sunburst, looking very promising early on. However, once again, no vehicle has yet to conquer the Conqueror. Now, stay tuned. Our third and final vehicle will be coming up very shortly. In fact, it will be coming up after this quick jump cut. So see you again soon, folks. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. We are on to our final suggested vehicle of this episode. This suggestion comes from a user called The Hunted 1127. They suggest to use the Miramar rally spec. Now, this is technically the Safari rally, but there is no rally spec in the game. However, without further ado, we're going to remove the fuel, take off the parking brake. She does not want to move by herself, so we're going to give it a little bit of a node grab. There we go. And just find something that isn't going to damage the car. Give it a little bit of a pull on the top of the bonnet. There you go. And away we go. Getting off to a decent start. This thing weighs pretty similar to the Hirochi Sunburst, surprisingly. They are decades apart. This thing being a 1970s Miramar, I think. I believe this thing was 70s. The Sunburst being early 2000s. These things are like 30 years apart, but weighing pretty similar amounts. There will be some major differences between these two. For starters, this thing has some very quick steering. It's fitted rally tyres. It's got a roll cage, it's got some modifications to it compared to that Sunburst. And it does not have ABS. So I've got to be extremely careful on the brakes. Otherwise I will lock up the wheels and we will go skidding forwards. Skidding forwards is not very useful to anybody. Especially when you're trying to make a corner. This thing is still getting some decent speed. It's somewhat comparable to the Sunburst. Up to 50 already. Bring it to a slow for this corner though. These thin tyres, they are high profile, but they're thin. So I'm not sure. They might not do us too good. The lack of surface, the lack of a contact patch might cost this thing when it comes to trying to maintain speed through some corners. Do love the wood grain steering wheel in this thing though. It's lovely wood grain, the bare metal finish on most things. Still got the glove box right in the middle of the no, it's not in the middle. No, they're in the middle. So used to American cars. That lovely glove box with the Miramar logo, the Miramar word. These dials as well. I do love a good dial. Very 60s, very 70s-ish. Very retro. Even got a little clock on the dash, just there below the radio. For a rally car, this thing is still very much something you would use in every day. Well, I guess it's time to go exploring. I mean, the oil pan doesn't matter too much in this thing. The engine don't work anyways. Smash windshield. But given this thing's a rally car, the suspension seems to have held up pretty good to that. Doesn't feel like there's anything wrong with it, minus the smash windshield. And I've just realised the back window smashed too. Nothing else though. The lack of the lack of grip on the front tyres is definitely costing this thing. You've got some air vents still. Surprised by that. Wouldn't expect a 70s rally car to have kept the air vents. I just thought they would have stripped those out. Save some weight. We climbed the speed tester. I'm suspecting that we might stop on this hill on the speed tester. The little adventure we had may cost us the chance of passing the speed test. It's not set in stone just yet, but I have my suspicions. Because we have to get all the way down this road and around that corner while doing 20 miles an hour. I don't know. Miramar is conserving some speed pretty good. Don't quite understand the point in the fog lights. I think we've got enough lights on the front end of this thing anyways, but 70s rally was an interesting time, I guess. And yeah, it's not going to pass the speed test. 2.4. Well, thank you all for watching, ladies and gentlemen. Please leave your suggestions for vehicles down below, along with your suggestions for naming other parts of the course. We currently only have two. This first hill is called the Speed Tester, and the second hill is called the Conqueror. I'm very interested in hearing more of your suggestions. But for now, stay tuned for the leaderboard, and then I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day, and hope to see you again next week. Adios for now.
She moves like a map with no borders, a whisper call.